Hi, guys. Welcome to Rose Romance Podcast. Today we are joined by Jamie Applegate Hunter. Welcome.
Hello.
She is the wonderful author of the Fae Kings of Eden series.
Wonderful is a stretch.
The girls love it. Calm down. Calm down. They love it, and as you can tell from your turnout today,
Yeah, there was a really good turnout today. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. So we're going to ask our author questions and go down the list. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So when did you start writing, and when did you publish your first book?
I started writing during COVID because I got bored.
You're the second author to say that.
I did. Whenever people ask me these questions are like, have you always wanted to be a writer? And the authors that I'm on panels with have been very inspirational. And I'm like, I got bored during COVID. Never thought I would be a writer. And then I published my first book in June of 2021.
Got you. Wow, that's really quick.
Yeah, I can, if I sit down and actually do it, I can write books fairly quickly. And anyone watching this who read the book and didn't like it, you're going to go, I can tell. I wrote Tragically Yours from very start to finished editing in about 3.5 weeks.
Damn.
Even though I had a long time to write it, I had a lot of traveling that I did for all the signings, and I also hit really bad writer's block. That's what's really bad. And so I had already put it up for pre-order, so I had to get it out by then.
Oh,
and
wow.
It just kind of got down to the last minute, and I was like, okay, here. I mean, I had to do it. I had to do it. So I was like, here we go.
No, because I see some authors, and it takes them. It's a very long process, and
normally,
things like that.
I like to take about 2 to 3 months to do a book. That's what I prefer. That's where I can really flesh it out. Now, with book 2 in the Winkler realm duology, that one took me a year.
Gotcha.
But book 1 only took me about 3 months.
Huh.
So, but sometimes when you're down to the end, you can get it out there.
Or if the story's just flowing that good, right?
Yes. And sometimes you'll get it to where you can sit down and it does. It just
pours out of you.
And so you can write it really fast. But then sometimes you'll hit writer's block, or there are times when you just kind of go, man, I don't feel like writing this. I do not feel like writing this.
Gotcha.
And it's not necessarily writer's block as much as it is just no motivation.
And there's just so many outward things probably happening too.
There are. Yeah. And it also, your personal life sometimes it can affect your writing. So if you've got some stuff going on in your personal life, depending on what the book is, if it's not like a type of mood that matches it, you're really going to want to try to take a step back.
Gotcha. So do you work full-time also, or are you just an author?
I'm a full-time author.
Yay, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Umber King is what launched me into it.
Okay.
And Viciously Yours kind of took me to another level. And
Perfect.
So that's what I do full-time. But also, the majority of being an author, especially an indie author, is admin stuff, marketing.
Marketing is, oh my God.
It's probably only about 25% writing. I mean, and I don't know if people realize that. It is only about 25% writing.
No, it's got to be.
And I didn't know that when I signed up for this.
Right. And it's good that you have a great personality because it works for you. Do you know what I mean?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Although
all your glamour shots for your
did I show you my very first author photos I ever did?
Mm-mm.
I'll show you when we're done.
Okay.
It was I specifically did it on purpose, an 80s photo shoot. So in the back of the
like a JCPenney's photo shoot?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's one where I'm standing cheerleader pose. I have paint splattered leggings.
Love it.
I did my hair in a faux perm. I went all out.
You went
and
for it.
It was in the back of my original trilogy. It was in the back of my book.
Perfect.
It was on my Amazon author profile.
So it can probably be found out there still.
Yes, it probably can. And then I had to become, more serious and actually get a normal one. But when I did my Christmas cards last year, I redid another photo shoot.
Gotcha.
But
yeah, the ones you've been using to do the signings are so cute. They're
I was oh, these are around Christmas. This is perfect. But you have to learn to have fun with it because otherwise you will just drown.
I can't imagine. Yeah. So, what is your writing process like? Are you do you plan the whole book, or is it I had the author yesterday? She does a whole outline.
So it kind of varies. Usually, whenever I kind of get an idea for a book or start a book, I will know a few things I want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be like, okay, this is the ending that I want. This is, some of the main plots. And then I will sit down and I have to, one of the worst, and I think there's a question that we had spoke about.
Okay.
What is one of the worst things you hate about writing?
Right.
is filler scenes. So you
Oh,
have these
to
major
get it to the next
you have
point.
these major
Yeah.
plot points, and then you have to sit down and think of filler scenes that really does character development and
Right.
character relationship development. And those can be really tough for me because as a reader, I'm a very fast-paced reader.
Right.
And so as an author, I tend to write plot point to plot point, and then I'll have to go in and add
And
in
fill in
filler
more
scenes.
things. Okay.
And so that's kind of really what I do. But since I write fantasy, and even I'm working on a contemporary now, I did the same thing. I am. Little secret project. I always associate whatever books I'm writing with like a color or some kind of object. And I have a ritual. I get a laptop case, a phone case. Like this is the contemporary color I associate it with is pink, and brutally yours is red.
Got it.
So I have a pink and red phone case because I'm doing them both right now.
Gotcha.
And I get a notebook, pens. I just get
And
all
you
this
go
stuff,
all out. Yeah.
and I'll sit down and I will write out the characters I want, their descriptions. I'll jot down scenes, and I do it all on a paper notebook. And then and it'll be like, it's not just like in a line, it'll be like this and then like sideways. And then I have
Little point over here, a little point down here.
and then once I kind of get it out, and I guess that would be my outline,
Okay.
and then the character things, then I'll go into like a Google Doc and I'll write it all down there.
Wow.
But it's kind of chaotic.
That sounds a little chaotic.
I've seen some authors that will have like index cards that's like chapter 1 and then like
subplots. Yes.
paragraph, and I'm like, I go into each chapter with just
Let's see what happens.
and I get in a prayer. I'm just like, well, I don't know. And then, but because that's how I write,
Mhm.
sometimes I'll be doing a filler scene and it'll change a lot of the plot.
Gotcha.
And I'll be like, oh yeah,
oh wait,
this way instead.
oh wait, that wasn't supposed to go that
Yeah.
way. So this is what's your favorite and least favorite parts of writing the romance?
Yeah,
So
my favorite part is I usually put a lot of humor in my books.
yes.
And so, and like in the banter, and
Yes.
sometimes this is so corny. I'll write lines that just make me laugh out loud. I'm like, that is so funny.
Listen, if you're not making yourself laugh, then what's
Yeah, somebody's gonna laugh at me.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be me. So that's probably
Do
one
you
of my
like run
favorite
him by
parts.
your husband and he just looks at you like
Sometimes I'll tell him and he's like, he does not think it's funny. I tell him that all the time. Like if someone tells, like whenever Viciously Yours, it was #1 in humorous fantasy for months. It hit the top of the charts. It hit #1 in humor and satire. It's
Yay.
not satire. In humor and satire. And I'll tell him, I'm like, see, I'm funny.
Right.
And he's like, I think you're fun. No, you don't.
No,
you don't laugh at anything I say. He literally just looks at me, which we have complete opposite person. We've been married for almost 12 years. We are polar opposites.
So are me and my husband.
And so like if he'll laugh out loud at something on TV and it's just the dumbest thing, and I'm like, but you don't laugh at my stuff.
Right. He's like he loves like Super Trooper, the stupid
yes, slapstick, and I'm like, that is so
yeah,
dumb.
and I'm like, I'm sophisticated.
Yeah.
Funny. You're silly funny.
I'm like, my stuff is witty, yours is dumb.
Do you have a favorite author?
So I have a handful of authors
Okay.
that I really like. As far as historical romance, I love Lorraine Heath.
Okay.
With contemporary, one of my favorites is Whitney G.
Oh.
And she has this 2-book series. They're interconnected. Actually, no, there's 3 out now. They're interconnected standalones. The first one is Sincerely Carter, and the second one is Forget You, Ethan. Forget You, Ethan is one of my favorite books.
Nice.
And in these books, it actually inspired the letters of this one because they write little notes back and forth.
Aww.
And I just, and in a lot of her books, she'll do emails and text messages and stuff like that. And I love that trope.
Right.
And I was like, well, I'm going to write a book with that trope. So I did.
We're just going to borrow some inspiration.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's, a thing where whenever you have these favorite authors, you like, they inspire you and stuff like that. And so I just really loved that trope in her books.
Cool.
And I was like, well, I'm going to do that trope. I don't know if I can do it well, but I was like, I'll try.
I'm going to try. So is there anybody in particular you pulled inspiration for this series or anything? Or
no, just
this is
just Whitney G and the letters that she wrote, which is what gave me which obviously her letters and text messages are completely different. She writes contemporary.
Right.
But just for the idea of letters. And I mean, that was pretty much it. Everything else was just kind of off the top of my head.
Gotcha.
I just kind of sit there and be like, oh, well, I really wanted to write Rennick. I wanted to write a really unhinged guy who was like also just a golden retriever.
Right, yes.
Like, that's what I wanted to write. And I was like, oh, I'll do it. And I wrote fantasy, and I like reading fantasy, but I didn't want to do like a super complicated. I wanted it to be something that was like because it's like, how can, like, what if you wanted to read something that's Fated Mates, but you don't want to read this super complicated plot and have to follow all this
all
world
the
building?
magic systems and all the
Yeah.
worlds.
You know,
and
and I was like,
yes,
there's shifter books that are
Yes.
like that. So
Yes.
why can't there be a Fae book? So I wrote one.
yes, and it's
that's
perfect.
It's
Exactly,
what I wanted to do,
because
so that's what I did.
it just you don't have to know all these things, and it's
Yeah.
just great.
And
so
it's just something it's kind of like I call them book slump books, just a mindless read.
right. We're here for the vibes, okay?
That I am a vibe reader.
Right.
And if anyone could see my private Goodreads, they would be like, yeah, you're definitely a vibe reader.
Right. I'm out here. I'm just vibing. Listen, if I love the book and made me kick my feet and make me
Yeah.
smile a little bit, I'm like, you're a 5-star. I love you.
I will be reading, because I like to read reviews before I read a book, so
Right.
I can see what tropes are in it. And some people will be like, well, the tone was off and this and then this. I was like, I don't even know how
Right.
to tell that when I'm
I don't
reading a
either.
book.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was funny and 5 stars.
right. And then somebody will be like, did you see that plot hole?
No,
I didn't.
No, I didn't actually. Gonna be honest. As a matter of fact, that what you're calling a hole is my favorite part.
Right.
I don't know.
You would sit in with our book club.
Yeah.
We're all about the vibes. Do you have a favorite romance trope?
Yes. I love other woman drama.
Wow. Yes.
What's funny is I write other woman drama, but I don't write it in the way that I usually like to read it.
Gotcha.
I write it in the way that I know most people like to read it, which is where there is other woman drama and it's, through a good part of the book, but he doesn't entertain her at all.
Yes.
He is all about the female main character. That's how I write it. The way I like to read it is like, almost, I don't want to say a love triangle. We were talking about this earlier.
Yes.
One of my favorite tropes is like whenever he has to marry her or something, but he loves someone
Somebody
else. So
else.
like The Wrong Bride.
I love that book.
There's a lot of historical romance like that, and I love historical romance. So that's my favorite trope to
Gotcha.
read. But
What about to write?
to write.
Is there one?
No.
That's fine.
No, I mean, it's kind of, I really like writing the unhinged
Gotcha.
characters. That
Yeah.
is really fun to me. It's almost kind of like, what can I get him to do that's, like, what would make me laugh?
Yeah, just
reading it?
crazy.
Because I guess another trope I love to read is when I get in book slumps, I will read like novellas that just have insane characters to where you're reading it and you're like, did they really do that? Like
Azor?
I do have a signed copy of Unhinged. Shout out to Vera Valentine.
Shout out to Tori. She's our girl in our bookstore that reads all the unhinged shit. We just send it to her and like
I will read it. One time I read one about pastry shifters and they used croissant as a verb. It was I croissant on the floor because he turned into a croissant. And I was like,
Tori's gonna love that one. I can't wait to tell her about it.
Look to my Goodreads and tell her the
Name of it. Yes, for sure. That's too funny. And covers.
So there is an original cover to Viciously Yours. So when I wrote Viciously Yours, I didn't know if I was going to publish it.
Okay.
I wrote it for fun. I decided last minute, and so I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a cover designer. So I just made it myself, and I put it out, and it ended up being a huge success.
Yes.
And so then, there were other books in series, and I was like, oh, hell, no, I need covers that match the genre.
Right,
like
yeah.
really decent. So I had the new covers made, and it kind of started with the one I made has a feather on it as well.
Yes.
And it was green. And so we kind of stuck with that theme, just cooler. But because a lot of people get mad whenever you change a cover in the middle of the series, we made it to where the spine matches. So like if you have the original cover and you have it where the spines are together,
Right, you can't tell.
You can't tell.
That's perfect.
It's a little bit brighter color, but
Right.
the exact same color font, the exact same font. It's all in the same place and everything. So I tried to
Perfect.
do what I could.
I think it's a great cover.
I love these
Yes,
covers.
they're beautiful.
The cover designer I used, they did the Winklerum duology as well. They did a lot of my special editions.
Okay.
They've done some of the special editions for book boxes that I've done. Like they are so good at what they
Girls
do.
love a special edition.
They do.
They love it.
And we're about to do a Fae King special edition where it has, so like the shirtless thirst trap covers
Yes,
of real guys.
yes.
So it's that, but cartoon. So they're like,
Wait, what?
look, no,
That's gonna be so funny.
I'm going to show you the sketch.
Okay.
For what we have. So this has to all be redone, but that's real. So he has to be fixed.
Why?
Because some of the stuff was incorrect. But like this is the outline sketch.
Gotcha.
And then that's Rennick.
Nice.
And it's all got to be tweaked and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to have that thirst trap feel, but they're the cartoon covers. which
Gotcha.
I thought, this is back to me laughing at my own joke. I thought it was funny.
Right.
And then they're going to have sprayed edges and foiling and stuff like
They
that.
love the sprayed edges.
And
Ugh.
I love how, I don't know if we'll do foiling or if we'll do like the shiny UV stuff.
Right.
But I'm really excited. to see
Yes, they're so pretty. So last question.
that. Okay.
What are the plans for any future books?
So I actually have books planned out really far in the future.
Really?
I'm working on a contemporary right now.
Right.
And then and also Brutally Yours, which is the fourth and last one in this book.
Yes.
And then I have a trilogy that I had published originally. It's a fantasy romance that I unpublished, and I'm actually rewriting it for
Is that the one that Alyssa's trying to track
Yes.
down?
Yes. So she has books 1 and 2.
Two.
And I am rewriting those because they were my debut novels. They need a lot of work. Like when I read them, I'm like, I'm gonna crawl in a hole. People read this. And so I'm rewriting those for my agent. And then I have to write the third book in so it's the Winkler Rome duology, but there's a third spinoff book.
Okay.
And you don't have to read it if you read the duology, but you have to read the duology
You need to read it.
because it's about a side character, but a lot of what happens in book 2 of the duology is what leads into this book.
Gotcha.
So I've got that. And then, so rewriting the Compeer, it's a trilogy. So I'll rewrite book 1 and then I'll write the third book in the Winkler Realm. And then I've got books 2 and 3 to rewrite for that. And then I'm really enjoying writing contemporary.
Okay.
So I think what I might do is slip in some contemporary books in there. It's a very good break because coming up with all these worlds and having to really focus on the plots is so draining.
Yeah.
And that getting to write these contemporary is a really fun break.
Okay.
So I'll probably slip some of those.
Any hint of like a trope in the contemporary that you're...
I can actually tell you the plot of it.
Okay.
And it's basically she gets catfished.
Okay.
And then she sees the guy like out at a bar, runs and throws herself into his arms, and he's like, "Who are you?" Because it
wasn't his picture.
It was the guy that she throws herself at. It was his pictures, but it's not actually the thing. And so he's a baseball player who's expected to be drafted because, of course,
right.
And if this gets out, it could be a scandal. And because she's like, "Well, but you're not the one who catfished," and he's like, "Well, there have been players in the past who have gotten catfished and it made them a spectacle." So they team up to try and find the catfish themselves. And then they end up getting together.
What a cute, cute.
It is.
Yeah.
And, since it's a contemporary rom-com, sports romance rom-com, it's kind of like, I can't go as unhinged as what I did with Fake Kings, but like he still does things that you're like, yeah, I can see her writing this.
Right.
Like
he doesn't cut off his own skin or anything.
No, I can't put that in there. I don't think my agent would let me. But like with this one, there's a scene where her dad is very wealthy and he pays all her bills, but he's like, you have to volunteer like as if that's your job.
Oh, okay.
Like at like a homeless shelter or whatever.
Right.
So she volunteers, and one day they were short staffed, so she has to work all day. And usually she sends the mailman character like stupid like memes and stuff.
Okay.
And he always like thumbs down them, and he's like, "Stop sending me these are dumb." Well, then on that day she doesn't send him any. And so by 10 o'clock at night, he calls her and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And she's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You didn't text me your stupid pictures."
Aw.
And she tells him why. Well, so then when she goes in for her next shift at the food kitchen, all the baseball team is there.
Oh.
And he had told her, he's like, "Well, now they're not short staffed, so you can send me your dumb
memes.
pictures." So he kind of does stuff like that where it's like a
Yes.
little bit overboard, but not like, cut off someone's member because they slept with them before they met. I had to tone it down, but there's still the little bit where you're like,
a little bit of craziness.
yeah, you're
in
like,
there.
that's a little overboard, but I have to.
But I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm having a lot of fun writing it.
Good. So we should expect that next year or 2027?
So it depends.
Okay. Because the fourth one is in
March.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, with the contemporary, I don't know if I'm going to do it indie or if we're going to try to do trad. We haven't. It's going to depend on how the story comes out. My agent will look at it and then kind of decide which way she thinks I do better. So if I do it indie, it'll definitely come out next year.
Got it.
If we end up going trad, then I'm not sure which way it'll go.
Perfect. Well, we are excited. We are so excited because the
I had a
girls
lot of
love
fun.
your books.
Listen, she is really funny.
Thank you.
I'm not kidding.
Thank you.
She is hilarious. I just hit a button. Did I turn my microphone off?
No, it's still on. You're fine. I was like, I clicked. And that is the end of the Hot Mess Express. Thank you so much for coming. We loved having you. Guys, we have her books in store, so you can always grab them here. And till next time.
Till next time.
Bye, guys.